Hello everyone, and welcome to this month's Participant Wellness webinar entitled Spring into Wellness, 7 Tips for the Healthiest Summer Ever. This is Gary Sams, the Chief Wellness Officer for Ebix Benefits Administration and Wellness. And as always, I'm really pleased to spend some time with you this month talking about something that I hope you will find is good for your health and well-being, particularly as we kind of move into what is my favorite time of year, springtime. And I love what the poet E.E. Cummings had to say about spring. He said, "Spring is when the earth laughs in flowers." That's just a great image, I think, to hold in our mind and in our hearts, the image of spring laughing in flowers. So this month, I've got 7 tips that I want to cover, which are really simple and easy. There's no heavy statistics or anything like that in this presentation, but just 7 ideas that I wanted to share with you about how we might really kind of prepare ourselves for a really healthy and happy summer this year. So let's go ahead and get started. The first one, and this one I kind of see as a 2-for-1, and that is to start with a mental and emotional spring cleaning, kind of creating a new attitude, if you will. And I'm sure we're all familiar with the tradition of spring cleaning. Normally that applies to our physical surroundings, like cleaning our homes, our cars, yards, etc. But how about if we take a different look at it this year, and we make an inward effort for spring cleaning around our mental and our emotional items and things that we want to address. So, springtime is a perfect time to celebrate the renewal of life and all its possibilities, but we need to consider our thoughts, our attitudes, and emotions, to take full advantage of the opportunity. So I've got an idea to share with you. What if we take 10 or 15 minutes to really think about just 1 or 2 things about our thoughts and our emotions that we can change to set up a better, happier time this summer? So, for example, if you typically react with anger when someone lets you down or disappoints you, and we know that there certainly are plenty of opportunities for that to happen, next time, say to yourself, before getting mad and confronting them, I'm going to spend a few minutes trying to understand them and see things through their eyes. The idea of kind of putting yourself in someone else's shoes. And that's a really simple thing, that we're going to try to do here. It's just kind of pause from our normal reaction and think about it in a different way. And I suggest writing, the 1 or 2 actions down that you might want to try in this regard, and then refer back to them as needed. But in general, it's just taking a different approach to spring cleaning. Instead of thinking of our outward world, how about thinking about our inner kind of attitude and seeing if there's something that we might be able to change and clean up there. The second one is what I'm calling the Memorial Day Fitness Challenge. And this isn't actually a specific challenge that I'm going to ask you to register for or anything like that. It's one that I want you to sort of do on your own. And I started to think about this in that you're going to be listening to this in April. In 6 weeks or so, it's Memorial Day, kind of the traditional start of summer. So what if we take this time between now and then to really kind of set a new fitness goal so that when Memorial Day comes around, we're really in better shape? So for myself, I'm going to try to add 500 steps to my regular walking routine that I have. I walk 4 or 5 days a week, but I'm going to try to add 500 steps every 2 weeks, so that by the end of the 6 weeks, I'll be walking an additional 1,500 more steps than I did this past winter. And I really believe this will help me to get in better aerobic shape for summer, and it should also help me to lose at least a few pounds. And that's another thing that most of us kind of want to do. We're going to be wearing shorts and t-shirts and things in the summer, and we want to look a little bit better. And so this simple activity would certainly help us do that. William Shakespeare had a quote. He said, "April hath put a spirit of youth in everything." So let's take advantage of that, kind of a renewed spirit of youth, and think about what we might be able to do with our fitness for the next 6 weeks so that we approach the summer in better shape. Tip 3, plan ahead for summer fun. Anticipation can be a powerful thing. And so I'm a proponent of planning and writing things down, and this is an easy one. Even if you aren't a planner by nature, try creating a written plan for having fun this summer. So write down the places you want to go, the activities you want to do, so you really have something to look forward to. And all of this effort to conscientiously or mindfully be involved in your life will make a big difference in the life you experience. I firmly believe that. We become what we set out to be. So plan ahead for summer, write down a plan of what you're going to do this summer for fun, and let that kind of anticipation help motivate you, through our springtime wellness effort. Robin Williams said, "Spring is nature's way of saying, let's party." Okay, tip 4. Now this is kind of maybe an unusual one, but the idea is plant something new and now so that you grow together. So as I said before, spring is a time of renewal and growth. So let's go beyond talking about it and become active participants in the growth process. So this tip again is to grow something. If there was one thing that I could suggest to really help people feel better, it would be to plant a garden. I've been fortunate enough my entire life, my father, my grandparents, their parents, gardening has been a tradition in my family as long as anybody can remember, and it has been for me and my kids as well. But the process of planting and tending a garden is great for your mind, your soul, and body. And of course, the resulting food nourishes all of the above. And if you don't have room for an actual garden, which many of us may not, just get a few plants that you can grow on your windowsill or your porch or something like that. It doesn't have to be big or a lot, but planting some herbs, for example, that you can cut up and put into the food that you make is a great idea. But just planting something, watching it grow, and really thinking about that process is a great wellness tip for spring. Number 5, just add water to get the energy you need to thrive. So just like the plants you're going to grow, we need water to have the energy we need. With the warmer weather coming our way, with summer and the spring moves on, it becomes even more important to be hydrated and to get enough water. So we don't want to overlook that. And keep in mind that there's really no substitute for pure, simple water. We don't need any fancy sports drinks or anything like that, just good, clean water. That's really what your system requires. Tip number 6. How about we share the journey with someone we love and care about? From my experience, everything is easier and more rewarding when you can share the experience with someone you care about. So think about recruiting a friend or a loved one, to take this spring wellness journey with you and get them involved in these tips that I'm talking about, making the list and so forth, and work together on it. So, if you find a bump in the road, over the next 6 weeks or so, you've got someone that can encourage you and kind of help you through that. And likewise, if they have a little sticking point or a downtime, you can help them. The idea, though, again, is to share the journey. It really does make it more meaningful and easy. And finally, tip number 7, acknowledge the effort. Really reward yourself. Just like I suggested writing many of these kind of action items down on paper, have a plan for rewarding yourself when you achieve your goals. And just as some ideas, maybe you can tie the reward to your summer fun plan. As I achieve my goal for getting more fit or for growing something and changing kind of my attitude, at the end of this, I'm going to reward myself with some new trip or something like that. Or maybe you could tie it to like getting an activity tracker or something that helps with your fitness. Whatever it is that's going to motivate you, but be very purposeful and mindful about acknowledging and you're putting a reward out there for yourself and acknowledging the achievement that you made. Oliver Wendell Holmes, he had a great quote, and I'll leave you with this. He said that, "I find that the greatest thing in this world is not so much where we stand as in what direction we are moving." And so it's not so much where we are today, but it's where we're going to be. And so my wish for you is that you have just the happiest and healthiest springtime ever, leading to the happiest and healthiest summer ever. And these tips are, again, it's not rocket science and it's not too heavy. They're just simple ideas that I wanted to share with you that I think if you do 2 or 3 of them, it can really make a difference in that experience. So as always, I really thank you for your time and attention and letting me share some thoughts with you this month. There's always a little quiz, and this is just a fun, simple one at the end, just so that you can get credit for participating. So please fill that out, and I look forward to speaking with you next month. Thanks so much.